Mm. Okay, chat. We got some cleaning to do. We got lots more to go. Okay, we got all these dishes. Okay. You know, we got a lot done yesterday. You know? Like, I did 4 hours of cleaning yesterday. That's insane. Like, that's actually insane. Like, that's a pretty big deal for me. To do that much. But now, I'm going to start with getting all the dishes out of the sink. Separate them. Get all the plates out. The knife in a safe spot. Another plate. There's not many dishes to do, but we do have to do them. Just make sure we don't get stuff smelling up the I dropped it in there. Is it gone forever? Uh-oh. Hey, Genaxios. The world let me down? What are you talking about? You know, the world can let you down, but in the end of the day, you can only just do your best. You know? Just do your best. You know, not really much that complaining about it does, you know? Hey, Dobby. Dobby, you give Dobby a sock. I dropped a spoon into the abyss. Where the hell did that go? We're gonna have to look for it after we're done with the dishes. Get all that greasy bullshit out of the way after we do all the regular dishes. You good body? Strong woman. I'm 37. Strong woman. Message held for review. I fuck you. I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me. I'd fuck me hard. Show me hip. Get those hip flexors. So we got to start with making sure. Let's just get the plates. Get some soapy water. You're young? Well, hopefully not too young. Daily chores being done in a sexy way. I'm that sexy? I'm not even trying. Oh yeah, Nicole? Or Paul? Oh, the water gets clogged up. Yeah, this thing never really works the way I want it to. Gotta get one of these things. Ew. One of these, put it down the sink. You guys need to calm down, okay? Okay, look, it's 4 p.m. It's already kind of late. We can't do too much, I don't think. We can try to get as much done as we can today. I don't know if I can do too much. Let's finish these plates, and then I gotta start some laundry. Yeah, they're really excited about dishes. Yeah, I'm just like trying to, keep the pilot on my I'm not really in content brain lately, and so kind of just trying to keep the pilot light on, and also encouraging myself to do dishes and cleaning and such. So it's okay, we finished the plates. That's the first part of it. I need to do some laundry. I need to do... I have to do this one. Okay. Como Unfolding Dreams. Laundry Day Vlog. Folding Clothes. Unfolding Dreams. Oh, I gotta... How many kids do you want? I can't have kids. I'm unable to reproduce. Contact number person. I have no idea what you're talking about. You need studio organization. Well, hey, Kim Passable, welcome back. First step is showing up. Once the chores are caught up, you will feel so free to create again. Yeah, I hope so. Who will take care of you when you're old? Well, if you see kids as people that are going to take care of you when you're old, that's pretty abusive. You're not going to let them live their own lives? You just see your kids as cheap labor? It's kind of messed up. Good chest milk. I think you've been a little naughty. Would I go to Dubai? Probably not. What do you mean? You know, as bad as things are in the United States right now, I'm pretty much most likely in the safest place I could probably be on the entire planet right now, in California. Yeah, you know, here's the thing is like, as much as we'd like to, you know, think that like people should be nice and take care of their parents, like that's kind of like you shouldn't expect them to do that. It should be like, you know, hey, if somebody wants to do that because they care, that should be appreciated, not expected. Because as soon as it becomes expected, that doesn't that kind of take away the niceness of it? Like, because it's like the default then is that you're an asshole if you don't take care of your kids. I hate that shit. Especially if your parents, you know, don't particularly deserve it, you know? I told my dad, as soon as I'm moving out, he's on his own. You know, I don't like talking about my dad too much, but like, he's kind of made his own bed. He's pushed away every single person in his life. He doesn't take any accountability. And like, I don't know what he expects. But whatever, he doesn't really seem to care. He can, he's already lost himself in the bottom of a bottle. So, kind of a moot point. He's kind of hurt himself already. And as soon as I'm out of here and on my own, because I'm working on getting some independence, I have access to services, and they're going to be working with me. I'm actually in really good hands. I have a really good trajectory going forward with my life. And as soon as I'm out of here, I'm done with him. I don't have to put up with his behavior anymore. I don't have to live with him anymore. I really can't wait for that to happen. I'm really tired of, especially like, for example, yesterday I was cleaning and I was getting some really good momentum. And then it's like, then he comes home and he interrupts it's not even always about his behavior. It's just the fact that I have to live with him. Like, as soon as he comes home, he interrupts my entire workflow. And then I have to start over every single day. And on the days that he stays home from work, I'm completely screwed. I don't have any ability to think straight. Like, I don't get the opportunity to get into flow state. And as soon as he comes home, he interrupts my entire workflow. And it's just like I basically can't do anything. I just have to lie down and do nothing. I try to do the best I can, but when he's home, he's in the way. I can't clean, I can't do the dishes, I can't do anything because he's always here. And it's like, I just want to live my own independent life, and I'm getting there. I'm going to be having my own apartment soon enough. Yeah, I don't want to have discussion about my dad's life, Jen Axios. I hope you respect privacy. I've already talked about my dad enough. I generally feel like I don't like talking bad about people unless they've really hurt me. But even then, I don't like doing that. I prefer to, steer content away from talking about my dad. I know people get stuck on stuff that's happened with me on stream. I want people to not associate me with my dad, if that makes any sense. Like, I'm trying to live my own independent life. And it's really frustrating when everybody I know associates me with him because I'm stuck living here with him. So every time, like, I talk to a family member, they're like, hey, how are you and your dad doing? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not his caregiver. I don't want anything to do with him. And then, like, on my YouTube channel, this is supposed to be my channel. It's not about my dad. And so I don't like bringing it up. If that makes any sense. Okay, I just need to wash a bunch of cups. Oh, we got to do the bowls. Okay, let's use this bowl after we wash it. Use it for soapy water. And then we just keep this soapy water here. And then I can just put soapy water in there. Well, you said something about my parents. You said, you said something about who's going to take care of, you mentioned stuff about parents. So, what I'm talking about is I don't want to talk about it. I want to live my own life. I want to be independent. And I'm going to get there. I'm just having a really hard time because things are taking so long to get started. Okay, we need to scrub this off. It has like oatmeal in it. We just scrub the dry oatmeal off. And then we get the soapy water. Still some stuff needs scrubbing. Okay. Now I gotta do this cup. My mom got me this one. And it's like it got a kitty cat on it. Turkish coffee. I've been drinking decaf with guarana lately. These actually mainly go in my room. I guess I can put them up here. Kind of use them for various different purposes. And the last cup, or 2 cups. Oh. This one. Yeah, this is a really old cup. Put it up there. I got this one. It's from GM Hikaru. It was from the Bong Cloud event streaming. Okay, I think we're done with dishes. And then what are we doing next? I gotta do more cleaning in my room. Because I'm crying in my room. Now I'm crying in my room. Good things are coming for you. Oh, thank you, Kim Possible. Oh. Now I'm crying in my room. Okay, let's move over and back into my room so that we can cry in my room. Yeah, it's a mess. Okay. Like, jeez. I don't know if we're gonna touch any of this today. Like all this nonsense. Now I'm crying in my room. More, more, more. Okay. I actually don't really, I think organizing this stuff. Jeez, I'm already running out of steam. Maybe we're just kind of need to take a break today. We cleaned for 4.5 hours yesterday. Bye, Rebecca. Subscribe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, you like the hiking? You like the hiking? Or do you like the crying in my room? No more crying, please. Thank you. No more crying. No more crying in my room. I don't really know what we're doing. I'm a little tired. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Is that like a Jet Li movie? I don't know what I'm doing, chat. We might just have to end the stream early. We did some dishes though, and I started laundry. I'll have to do the laundry off stream, or maybe we can just hang out in between laundry. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? We don't have to do everything right now. What do you guys want to talk about? I did some good cleaning. I cleaned all this. I cleaned everything under here. I did clean up everything up here, but then I put it all back. Just, you know, we're going to organize that. Maybe I can organize that more today, or I can clean this. I'm so tired. I'm just kind of tired today. I don't know, maybe that's normal. I did a lot of activity yesterday. Oh, yeah, and Kim Passable went to the grocery store. Sorry I missed you. Yeah, life has been kind of really uncertain lately, and I'm just kind of trying to weather the storm a little bit, because I don't really know what's going to happen anytime soon with stuff, and it's really just kind of scary. Ah. Yeah, and I don't really know, like, I don't really know how to go through each day anymore. Like, every single day I kind of just wake up and I'm like, okay, let's just go through the daily motions, you know? Like take care of breakfast, take care of doing my morning squats, you know, make my coffee. You know, I try to limit my social media. And then it's just like, I'm like, okay, well, now what do I do? And I basically, I'm in a spot right now where I pretty much just need to hang tight. Like, I really don't have much that I can do to affect my life right now. I'm waiting for services to start. And I'm going to put all my energy into working with these people. But until then, like, things are just kind of uncertain, and I don't really know what to do with myself. I have books to read. I have TV shows to watch. I have chores to do. You know, cleaning my room is a really good option, but I'm just so tired. And I did like 4.5 hours yesterday. But we did the dishes today, and I did at least 1 load of laundry. So that's like a big plus. You know, I need to start seeing the wins. You know, not everything has to be some big giant 4.5 hour event. You know, sometimes just doing the dishes and doing a load of laundry, sometimes that might actually be enough. And then tomorrow I'll show up and maybe have more energy and do some more cleaning and organizing. I think I got rid of the vast majority of garbage, but knowing how my room is, actually, I'm pretty sure I got rid of all the garbage, except for the stuff that's up here. Stuff that's up here, there might be some garbage here. But honestly, I think mostly it's organizing. I need to put a bunch of stuff into my fire safe, like documents and stuff. Focus on your breath whenever you feel exhausted. Yeah, sometimes even just closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths. Sometimes that's like more than enough. But you know, I'm kind of scared. I hit a little bit of a weird snag with my SSI, but the good news is that I talked to the representative and she said it's not bad. It's just a little bit of a snag because I forgot to follow through with one of the steps. They were trying to find me more money, but because I didn't fill out an application, I thought I did everything I needed to. But because I didn't follow through with one thing, they reduced my SSI to 0 to get my attention, is what she said. And so then I talked to her for like an hour, and she said everything is going to get sorted out. I should get back on my SSI, and I might even be making more money. And that'll help me with housing, because if I can make more money, I have, you know, that I can get out of here that much faster. But I don't really know. Like, I just don't really know. And until then, it's like, it feels like every single day is kind of up in the air. Like, it feels like my life, like, it feels like I'm on trial. Like, I don't know if it's the court of the public opinion or whatever, but it feels like I'm on trial. It feels like every single day I'm being judged for who I am. And that this is the afterlife and I'm being judged. by being trapped in this situation. Like, no matter what I do, nothing can seem to get me out into the world. I can't seem to make any meaningful connections with people. I don't know how employment or career opportunities are going to happen. It feels like I'm being judged. Yeah, I mean, Franz Kafka, I think he wrote something like Metamorphosis. And it's like Carl Jung and like The Shadow. And I guess that Kafka was like a contemporary of him, or... Basically, we all have to face our inner demons and face judgment from ourselves. And we have to learn how to be okay with who we are. Yeah, everybody is kind of in the same boat. I really try to like extend an olive branch to people. I know there's a lot of different people, even people who don't accept me and who hate me. But those people are suffering too. You know, they're going through a situation where maybe they feel powerless in their own life, just like I do. But then they see me and they want to put all the energy out into other people. And they're hurting in a lot of ways more than I am. And it's more of a projection. It says more about them than it does about me. Hi, life. Because it's like when people are going to come in at you and judge you, it's because they're projecting their own sense of inadequacy. And, you know, the same goes for me whenever I feel judgmental about people. But I just try to do my best to focus on what I can control. And, you know, that's where, like, yesterday I think was a really big, good step, like a really good first step towards trying to, like, you know, put that energy into something productive by really putting a huge dent in my cleaning project. But this is going to be a pretty long cleaning project. I don't know if it's going to I need to learn how to do things over time. I think that's the biggest thing I've been learning, is that I don't have to do everything in one big giant burst. And in fact, it's probably better if I split it up over time. And just like my writing project, like I got my laptop here, you know, like with all my writing project stuff that I'm doing, and I'm almost finished with an article already. And then I'll have a rough draft. And then I can go in and fix it up, and then I can publish it to my blog. And then I might even make a video essay about it and publish it to my YouTube. That would be interesting. Dance videos. More dance videos too. That would be good. I need to think spiritual. I mean, I am pretty spiritual. I have a lot of spiritual practice, a lot of like DBT, a lot of just like meditation and inner work, journaling, like really trying to focus on like a lot of like forgiveness, like for whatever it is. Forgiveness is a daily practice. It's not something that you just do once and then it's over. It's kind of something you do. It's like a daily thing, just like self-doubt, just like imposter syndrome. Like, you're never going to not have that battle. It's always going to be every single day. You're going to have to show up and slay that demon. You're drinking? Nice. Don't reject Christ. Whenever people start talking about Jesus Christ on YouTube, I feel like they're projecting something against me. I take a lot of the spiritual teachings to heart. I feel like Jesus would be on my side. He seemed like a pretty cool dude. He was persecuted for who he was. And he was, you know, very political, and he was persecuted for his political beliefs. He was persecuted for the people that he associated with, like the poor, the sick, sex workers, like tax collectors, like all the people that were stomped on by society. He accepted them. That's who he is. That's who he was. Jamaican Jesus? Jamaican me crazy. Yeah, and so there's some people who, like, they seem to have this agenda sometimes. Like, when people talk about Jesus and they, like, I can understand why you want to help someone, and I know, I don't want to project this onto you, but, like, there's so many people out there that whenever they see someone who's struggling with something, their automatic response is, you need to find Jesus. And it's like, it's kind of dismissive. It's like you're basically just, it's like throwing a Pokeball at something and just like, it's a catch-all kind of thing. Like, you're just going to say that just because you think that that's going to help them. And it's like, sometimes it's like, dude, like, sometimes praying isn't the answer. Like, you can't pray. Like, if you're sick, if you have like cerebral palsy, or, I'm diabetic, and like, I couldn't pray to heal myself. I prayed to get stronger, and it's my actions that mattered. That's how I got all my surgeries, like my facial surgery and my vaginoplasty. And some people will start acting like me being transgender is somehow going against God or something like that. And I feel like that's totally the opposite of what Jesus taught. And so every now and then I get people who get it. And you seem like pretty chill. But I don't think, when you say things like don't knock it until you try it, that in my mind, that tells me that you kind of see it as a transactional thing. You see it as like spirituality as something that you buy, that you just go to the store and you purchase Jesus. Like, that's not really how it works. Like, there's a whole bunch of different ways of existing on this planet, and there is no real answer, only Zool. There is no real answer. Like, we just have to, like, kind of find who we are, and like how we see ourselves, and who we want to be, and like how we're going to get there, and just kind of ask ourselves, like, am I living a life that I feel like I can look at myself in the mirror and say, I don't have any regrets? And it's like when people say something like, oh, you just need Jesus in your life. Like, that's kind of insensitive. As you're assuming that the person doesn't already have a spiritual life. And I don't care what religion somebody practices. I care about people's actions. And some people, yeah, the Buddha, like all that kind of stuff. I just don't really believe in following any specific teachings, me personally, because I feel like it's kind of like an easy out. If that makes any sense. Like, as soon as you start saying, oh, well, I read the Bible, that means that I don't have to do any work. Some people do that. And it's easy for any of us to go down that path. If you look at, like, various, like, Buddhist teachings, or it doesn't even matter. Like, if it's Hinduism, if it's Buddhism, if it's Islam, if it's anything like that. As soon as you start thinking that reading a book is what makes you have a better life, you're missing the point of what the book is trying to teach you. The book is only showing you what's possible. And then it's up to you to, like, kind of take things and, like, kind of synthesize it into something. Yeah, some people worship Satan. Satanism is actually more focused on, like, nature and giving people the, like, autonomy, like, freedom over your own body. Like, that's actually, like, a huge part of Satanism or paganism or whatever. And the fact that there's people out there that when you say Satan, they immediately have this image in their mind of evil. That is something that is a belief that has been passed on to you. based on things that people make in this world, especially the Greeks, like Hades and all that kind of stuff like that. This idea of there being a heaven and a hell, it gives people a lot of anxiety. And we don't even know, like, if any of it's true. We just, it actually is true, but it's not really telling you about the afterlife. It's telling you about the life. Like, heaven and hell are like a symbolic idea that we put ourselves in. And it's because we exist on this planet. We have this existence we live in. And as soon as you start saying, oh, if I read the Bible and do my Hail Marys or whatever, I'm going to go to heaven. And then it's going to excuse all my shitty behavior. It's like, dude, you're missing the point. Like those people are. I'm not saying that's you. Love lesbians and you love gay. Did I do that? What are you guys yapping about? Be nice to each other. Yeah, as soon as people start trying to tell me that they have all the answers, it doesn't even matter what it is, whether it's Jesus, whether it's like Hinduism, whether it's Buddhism, Taoism, Islam, anything. As soon as somebody says, if you reject everything else and follow this teaching, you will find enlightenment, I think that's bullshit. I feel like once you start thinking that, you've already kind of lost yourself. Because it's like the only real thing that exists is that we exist in this body and there's people around us and there's a world around us. We're going to have to try to figure it out on our own. And those various teachings can kind of help us. But in the end of the day, they're just things that people wrote down in a book. Like, they're not the end all be all to existence. But for some people, it really helps them. Like, going to church can really give people a sense of community as well. Like, sometimes people just really want to be around people. I just have a really hard time going to religious establishments because I'm a transgender woman, and that kind of automatically, it makes me feel really unsafe in a lot of religious environments. I don't even care if, like, the religion, if that particular church is more accepting. It's the people in the church that really, they're kind of a wild card. You never know who's going to be there and what their beliefs are going to be, or whether or not they're going to hurt me. So it's like, being a transgender person, it makes it really hard for me to trust religious establishments. And I don't need to justify it. I don't think anybody needs to justify it. If you don't feel comfortable in church, you don't have to go. I'm not going to, harass anybody who does, have that life. But if you start coming after me and saying I'm less of a person because I don't go to church, and then you go to church and they ask you to pay tithe, it's like they just want your money. Like, didn't Jesus teach that, like, you should give your money to the poor, not the other way around? You're dating trans? Oh, yeah, and you can date whoever you want, whether or not they're trans. I know a lot of people, I try not to be like super analytical or anything, but it's easy to do that on the internet, especially when you're talking to a camera on your YouTube channel. This isn't like anything about you or anything, but like when people say things like, I support trans, and it's like, okay, that's awesome. And I just wish we lived in a world where people didn't have to openly say that. I wish that we lived in a world where that was just normal, where people didn't have to hold up their identity like a shield, where people didn't have to like wear a flag so that other people can feel safe around them. right? Like whenever I see a pride flag, that tells me they're trying to tell people that we are welcoming. That's really, I feel like it's not really a political thing. I think it's more like, it's like not a dog whistle, but like it's kind of like a dog whistle of like, hey, this is a safe space for you. That's whenever I see a pride flag or a trans flag or anything like that on like a business establishment, that's what it tells me. It feels like we live in a world where if you want to show people that you're safe there, you have to do that. And that feels like kind of divisive, but unfortunately we're in a situation right now where that's kind of how it is. Where it's like, I mean, I really don't care. I'll go into the lion's den. I'll go into a place of anti-trans and I'll sit there and say, you know, I'll be the example, because people who hate have a really hard time most of the time hating something when it's right in front of them. Some people obviously, you know, they'll hate you right in your face, and that's kind of dangerous. But if you go up to most people who have like really strong opinions that they're always shouting, they're always like, you know, online, they're shouting hateful things, or they're going to protests and they're shouting hateful things, how about I go right in front of them and say, hey, hi, nice to meet you. Why do you hate me? Like, ask them, why do you hate me? You know, I think that's a strategy that there is this like, I forgot his name already, but there was this like really kind of a famous situation. There was like this black guy, and he would go to KKK members and ask them, why do you hate me? And he would talk to them over time, even go to their homes and have dinner with them to try to show them that he's a human being. And over time, he had a lot of people leave the Klan and would give him their, you know, Klan Halloween costumes. And he made a throne out of it. Like, there's a picture of him on the throne that is made of all the Klan cloaks, of like all the hoods and the cloaks from the people who denounced it, because he showed up and he said, I'm going to talk to you. I'm a real person. And it's like, because when somebody's right in front of you, when you're actually talking to a person, it's a lot harder to hate them. Yeah, it's hard for me to get out into the community. I have to find my own community. Transformation through love and struggle. Yeah, I mean, I really dislike this idea that I have to go to church to fix all my problems. I don't like that idea. I mean, everybody's soul is wounded. If I don't like you. You're going to come in here and talk about the Bible. It's kind of weird. You're basically, you see that me being transgender is something to be fixed. That is weird. That is weird. That you think that about me. Like, that when your opinion is that I am a sinner who needs to come to Christ. Like, do you understand how, like, an abusive mindset that is? That, like, you're basically coming to me and saying that I need to accept Christ and reject my own reality. Everyone is a sinner. I mean, I kind of get what you're saying. Hate is basically a tool to unite, like reality TV, but to love you need compassion and time. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I see what you're saying. It's just, I'm not going to go to church. You're not going to sell me on that, ever. I'm not going to go to church. If I do, it's going to be on my own terms. And it's not going to be because I don't feel like that's my kind of community. Because every single time I meet somebody who goes to church, they have something to sell me. They have some belief that they want me to believe. And that if I don't agree with them, they're going to have an issue with me. That I'm some problem to be solved. I don't like that. It's a very abusive relationship. Some people in the LGBTQ community are like that as well. There are some situations, not all, but there are some situations where I feel like if I speak my mind, I'm not going to be welcome. The same feeling I have when I go to church environments. It has nothing to do with whether or not you're Christian or whatever. It has nothing to do with whether or not you're LGBTQ. It's just a certain kind of cult-like mentality I dislike. That I'm basically provisional. That until you accept me until I say something you don't like. I highly dislike that. It is very cult-like. It is very herd-like mentality that basically I am a person that is provisional. Your acceptance of me is provisional. I highly dislike that. It's extremely abusive in my opinion. I accept you as you are. And in fact, that's what Jesus taught. Like, that's what Jesus believed. Like, is that you just accept people for who they are. Like, come as you are, isn't that like in the church? But then you go to a church community and you get all these people who have all this different ideas of what you can and can't do, that you can't have sex before marriage, that you can't be transgender, that you can't be gay, whatever. All these restrictions that have nothing to do with what Jesus talked about. So when you meet people who go to a church, you're going to meet all sorts of these types of people. And it's just not something I want to put myself through. It's so exhausting. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting conversation. I enjoy it. Yeah, well, I love you. I love Christ too. He loves me. He's my simp. He worships. I mean, he really likes washing feet. He's a foot guy. Okay? Jesus is a foot guy. I mean, you read all those stories about him washing people's feet. Everyone's got a type. See, here we go. I say a joke about Jesus and suddenly that's disrespectful. Like, come on. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I don't go to church. I'm not allowed to make jokes. Or I'm going to get people offended. And you know what's ironic is a lot of the people who claim, you know, oh, we're white evangelical MAGA or whatever, this transgender cult, transgenderism, they do the same exact thing that they say they hate trans people do. Where it's like they say, oh, they're so exclusive, you can't say anything without them screaming at you. I say one thing about Jesus being a foot guy, having a foot fetish, and you're like, let's not be disrespectful. Like, that's the same exact thing. Don't you see? Like, it's like someone coming in and say, like, you know, something about trans people, you know. Although I feel like trans people just, there's nothing really funny about trans people right now because of how much hatred there is in the world. And when people are attacking your basic human dignity and and when legislations are taking away protections, it's really hard to make jokes. Like, it's like hard, like, you know, I wouldn't make jokes about immigrants right now. Like, there's a whole bunch of really bad stuff happening in the United States. Absolutely like a travesty what is happening. And I feel really scared, but you know what? There's nothing I can really do but try to focus on the here and now. Like, focus on my own life and what I'm doing to improve my life and seeing the big picture. That, like, hey, like, I got all my surgeries to happen. I got all these people to help me with, like, case management, to get housing, you know, to get life skills coaching. There's going to be people who are going to help me every single day. I'm just kind of waiting for services to start, but I'm going to get ILS coaching. You know, ILS services are like, I'm going to have somebody that makes sure, like, hey, like, did you take care of your laundry? Did you do dishes? Did you clean your room? Like, are you brushing your teeth? Like, you know, like the daily stuff. Like, am I going to the grocery store? Like, basically having somebody to hold you accountable. And, you know, I'm getting all these resources put together because I have a developmental disorder. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can call my dad whatever you want. You know, I can call Jesus a foot guy. I think he would approve. I mean, he was really into feet. He always washed people's feet. Like, I don't know how to put it. I mean, it's literally in the Bible. Like, I don't, how is that disrespectful? I'm just telling the truth. Yes, there is this, like, delusion in America that if you know, I was told from a very young age that I need to study hard, go to college, get a degree, and get a good paying job. And then I dropped out of high school. You could say that it was unlucky that I kind of fucked up, but in a way I kind of dodged a bullet. I didn't go through the whole college pipeline right away. I kind of I got to experience life. I was like homeless for a time. I got to experience reality, and then it kind of like, it made me understand. It took like 10 years. But then it kind of told me what to focus on. Like, hey, like getting a college degree, being in like tons of student loan debt, that's not going to end up being the way they sold it to you. They sold you this dream all through middle school, elementary school, middle school, and high school, that you need to go to college, you'll get a good job. It's like, that's not how life works. There is no guarantee. There is no safe path anymore. I don't think there ever really has been. You pretty much just have to kind of roll the dice until something works. I got a lot of good stuff going for me. I'm focusing on the things that I can control. I'm getting all these resources together to hopefully put me in a better living situation, and hopefully over time I'll be able to grow my career as a content creator, as a writer, as a model, all these kind of things that I know that I can achieve. You know, being a trans person, it kind of, even though I'm 37 years old, it's almost like I'm like in my mid-20s. Like, as far as like, I basically just have to like, because I'm also autistic, and I only just recently, like, when I started transitioning, that's when I started seeing a doctor, and that's when I got all my diagnoses and stuff, my diagnoses, and like I started actually trying to work on my life, and I'm a little bit behind. I'm 37, but it's almost like I just turned 18. And then also experiencing my body after all the surgeries, it's almost like I wound back the clock. And so, you know, there is no timeline. Some people don't find their success until they're in their 40s or 50s. And that's okay. And nowadays, especially thanks to platforms like YouTube, that's totally possible. There are models who are just getting started in their late 60s. Like, that's a thing. You know, so all these excuses that people tell you, like, oh, I'm too old to be a model, I'm not good enough, I'm not attractive enough. Bullshit. That's an excuse. Because there's people in their late 60s who are just getting started, and they can end up being successful. As a content creator, like, there's so many different options. Grow your own food, hunting, and sleep under stars. Yeah, I mean, those are things that are cool. It's not always realistic. Yeah, I mean, finding out what I want in my life, that's actually kind of the journey I'm on now. That's actually kind of why things have felt so difficult, is because now I'm facing this new challenge where I'm trying to find who I am. I'm trying to find what I want out of life. I didn't really feel like that before, chat. Before all the surgeries, all I felt was pain. All I felt was like a one-track mind, like, I need to get the surgeries, I need to get the surgeries, I need to get the surgeries. now all of that's done. And now I'm like, who am I? Where's my place in the world? Where's my community? Where are my people? What do I want to do with myself? Like, who am I spiritually? Like, I'm asking all these questions now. It's a good place to be. It just feels really scary right now. Will the market be there for you? I am the market. I'm going to make it happen. That's how you do it. You got to keep showing up to find the right people. You got to find your mentors. You got to find your support. 1,000 true fans. Right? And it starts with me. Like, I got to start with myself. And I do sex work. So that makes things a little bit more likely in my favor. Because I'm not shying away from alternate forms of content. I'm like really casting a wide net. Most people are not willing to do sex work. Jesus would approve. He'd be one of my OnlyFans subscribers. He would specifically want feet stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. We did some good today. I did a load of laundry, and I did the dishes. So that's good enough for now. I think I'm a little tired from yesterday. And we talked about a lot of stuff. Really good stuff. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for sharing your opinions. I am looking for peace. You know, I feel like that's all any of us can find. I hope you find it as well. You know, I'm looking for my place in the world. Not necessarily peace. It's more like I want to find my place. And I think I'll find it. And I think peace comes from... I mean, I'll have plenty of time for peace when I die. Okay? Like, I'm not in a rush to find peace. I want a life worth living. To me, that's like what I really want. I want fulfillment. I want to be able to respect myself and say, hey, like, I knew what I wanted and I went and I got it. It already started because I'm already well on my way. Because I knew that I needed surgeries, and instead of... I put it off for 13 years. And then I said, enough is enough. I marched on over to the doctor, and I said, I need to start HRT. I need to get my name and gender legally changed. I need to get on wait list for surgeries. I'm making this happen. And I did. It took 5 years, but I did it. And it took 13 years of like waffling back and forth. Oh, you know, I need to take care of my homeless situation first. I need to take care of getting a job first. And it's like nothing worked. Because it's like I had this huge problem. I had this huge boulder on my back weighing me down. And now that's all gone. There's no more boulder. There was the other boulder that everybody has. You know, life is tough. Getting my surgeries didn't magically make my life, you know, super rainbow, shining, magical, perfect life. Okay, like it took off the blinders. It took the wool off of my eyes. Now I can actually see what matters. I mean, at least for me. Because I had a whole bunch of problems that were weighing me down, and then suddenly they're all gone. And now I can focus on other problems that were already there. And I didn't really see them before. So that's what all the surgeries did for me. Do you have a boyfriend? No. I don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend or partner. Gal Gadot? Who's that? Gal Gadot? Gal Gadot? Gal Gadot? Anyway, I gotta get going. I need to rest. Probably just gonna like spend some time in silence. I have books to read. I can probably do some writing on my laptop. But I did a lot of discussion here on stream. So, you know, I think it's been a pretty productive day. Even though I didn't do everything I wanted to today, at least I did something. And that's more than nothing. At least I did something. I showed up and I said, I've been doing this every day. I've been like doing something. Instead of just saying, oh, I may as well not do anything because I can't do everything. Like, no, just do something. One small thing. And then if you do one small thing, nobody can ever undo that. You do that, and it's there. It's done. You took care of it. And it's like, you could tell yourself, oh, you know, I may as well not do it because I can't commit to the whole thing. Or you just show up and you do one little teeny tiny part of it. You show up for 5 minutes. And we've showed up for longer than 5 minutes. We've been live for 1 hour and 11 minutes. So, you know, things are going a lot better than I give myself credit for. Anyway, I'll have to see you guys later. Bye-bye.